The following program is a Greenlight Maine production being brought to you in part by Bangor Savings Bank.
It's the way life should be. Greenlight Maine, building Maine's economy. Greenlight Maine, start here, scale here, stay here. It's your Maine and mine, building Maine's economy, one dream at a time. It's the way life should be. Greenlight Maine.
Welcome to Greenlight Maine. This is season number 11. Time flies when you're awarding hundreds and thousands of dollars in cash to grow Maine's economy. If you're new here, I'm Julene Gervais. I'm your host, and this is Maine's version of Shark Tank. This year marks $1.1 million in cash awards between Elevating Voices, our college edition, and this original series. The two companies you're about to meet have your best interest in mind. And speaking of best interest, we're going to say hello to our judges who care very much about these companies and are doing so much to grow Maine's economy. Welcome, Chris Simpson from Bangor Savings Bank.
Yeah, thank you for having me. My name's Chris Simpson. I'm the Regional Market Manager for Bangor Savings Bank. Bangor has 70 locations across Maine and New Hampshire, and what I get to do is work with the teams and the branches that bring our products and services to the people and businesses of the community.
Excellent, very important job. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Next up, we have a returning judge. Welcome back, Chris Roney from the Finance Authority of Maine.
Thanks, Julene. Chris Roney, I'm the General Counsel at FAME. FAME, as you may know, helps families afford and attain higher education and also helps Maine businesses access capital to start up and grow.
Excellent. And another returning judge. Welcome back, John Karp from Maine Technology Institute.
Thanks for having me again. And I serve as an executive in residence at the Maine Technology Institute. And part of that duty includes being the newly minted executive director of the Maine Space Corporation.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to talk to you in just a couple minutes. It's time for our first pitch. I'd like to welcome BoardWise with Matt Beatty and Kara Voisin. Whenever you're ready, look right at the judges and have fun.
Hello. So I would like you to take a second and imagine spending your entire career caring for other people, whether you're a nurse, a physician, a social worker, or a teacher. Then imagine coming home one day after working all day. You find a letter that says that there's been a complaint made against your professional license. That moment alone is absolutely shattering. Do you try to come up with a response on your own, or do you hire an attorney for thousands of dollars that you may not be able to afford? That gap is what led Matt and I to building BoardWise.
So we created the TurboTax of occupational licensing board complaints. We help individual professional license holders with understanding and responding to actions from their licensing boards, such as complaints. Across the United States, 43 million professionals rely on some sort of state-issued occupational license to do their jobs. They span healthcare, the skilled trades, education, and they're some of the most important people in our society. It represents nearly a quarter of the workforce, and here in Maine specifically, we have a very aged population that relies heavily on licensed professionals to do their jobs. And so we want people to feel supported and protected in doing this work so they can continue to do it long into the future and remain passionate about what they do. So we took this complicated and intimidating administrative process and turned it into step-by-step, easy to use and understand software. We charge a one-time low-cost fee for lifetime access to the platform so that licensees can feel protected now and well into the future. We launched 6 months ago, and we've already seen sales and signups from multiple states and professions. And we regularly receive emails from licensees that felt scared and unsupported and alone before a product like ours. We really think it's a scalable solution to a difficult and sometimes hidden problem, but one that is definitely big and important for our workforce.
And what makes BoardWise different is that it was created by people who have lived this experience. Our empathy is built into our business, and it's crucial. In the last 6 months, I've spoken with a lot of our customers, some face-to-face, and their gratitude is evident. Some leaving with tears in their eyes thanking us because they feel supported and they no longer feel alone. BoardWise exists so that one moment doesn't define an entire career. Thank you.
Excellent pitch and definitely solving a problem. All right, Chris, kick us off with the question.
Yeah, thank you. Really great job on the presentation. I guess my question would be, how do you guys acquire customers?
So we do a lot of targeted SEO. So, we have educational guides about how the process works in X state and for X profession. And we provide, helpful tips and information. And so people who are performing, for example, like a Google search or an internet search might find us that way. But we've also, kind of started building partnerships with attorneys, because a lot of people will call attorneys and figure out that they can't afford the retainer, and so the attorneys even have referred people to us as like a first step, something that's an educational supportive tool for them to use.
Great.
I'm curious as to where do you acquire, or how do you acquire the expertise behind the, behind the forms and the responses that you help generate?
Yeah, so for most boards, the process is pretty similar, even though the forms itself can differ in name. But pretty generally, when it comes to complaint response, a licensing board will almost always just say, respond by X and X date, and not necessarily tell you the specific format, but it's almost always narrative. And we really just help people with creating that structured document. So make sure you address number 1, number 2, and number 3, and the user is putting that information in themselves. Okay, I want to address this, and then this is how I want to address that. And we help put in, things like the letterhead, the recipient block, page numbers, and things of that nature. But it's really just a structured workflow, similar to like TurboTax, where you would answer a question or input your information into the field.
John.
Every time I ask scaling questions, don't I? So again,
that you do.
I'm back on it. So how many complaints per year typically happen against professional licenses in the U.S.?
Yeah, so it's a hard thing to quantify because there's not a lot of publicly available data, but there's about 43 million occupational licensees across the United States, and it represents nearly a quarter of the workforce. And if you take a conservative number, like maybe 1% across all licensees receive a complaint per annum, it could be close to 500,000, but definitely somewhere in between, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands. It's really hard to say for sure, but it's definitely a big problem.
And for our viewers at home, how much does this cost, and how can they find you?
So we charge a one-time fee of $4.99. Users could go to our website, boardwise.online. And I mentioned that, sometimes they would find us through like organic means. But the cost includes lifetime access to help with document preparation.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on all your success in just a short amount of time, in 6 months. And we can't wait to watch you as you grow. So thank you so much for being here. All right, we're going to take a short break and hear from our sponsors, but don't go away because our next company is tackling AI. We'll be right back. All right, you guys can come on over.
Since 1852, Bangor Savings Bank has been helping New Englanders thrive by living our You Matter More promise. We invest in Northern New England because your ideas, your well-being, and your business matter to us. Our commitment is reflected in our caring employees, innovative solutions, and investments in local communities. At Bangor Savings Bank, you are at the heart of everything we do because you matter more.
The people at Fame know what it takes to not just open a business, but ensure that it's successful.
To have people in your corners is really helpful.
Fame works for Maine, helping create a bright economic future.
It's about helping Maine grow.
Caring for your teeth, gums, and eyes is a must when it comes to your overall health, but it doesn't have to drain your budget. Delta Dental provides affordable, dependable dental and vision coverage for individuals and families looking for preventive, long-term care. Whether you're still working, retirement is on the horizon, or you're a small business owner, we've got a plan for you. So choose coverage that cares from Delta Dental. Find the plan that's right for you at nedelta.com.
At CMP, we do more than just power your community. We invest in Maine's future.
Nearly half of our outages come from one thing: trees crashing down.
That's why we're replacing aging cables with stronger, better protected ones.
And reinforcing our energy grid with steel poles and solid connections, built for Maine's weather.
And we're training the next generation, creating good jobs with competitive wages.
For Mainers like us.
And me.
CMP, where energy meets humanity. Good job, Kelly.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. Our next company has a really cool name. It's called Brainrot Tools, and I'd like to welcome winner Brian Kazaka. You are a winner, and whenever you're ready, go for it.
Which of these photos are AI generated? What about these two photos? This one seems a little bit more dangerous to get wrong. What about these two photos taken down at Monument Square in downtown Portland, Maine? How many people are actually in each photo? Which events took place? And what would a bad actor might want to manipulate you into believing one way or the other? Hi, my name is winner Brian Kazaka, and I'm the founder of Brainrot Tools, now presenting our latest product, See-Through AI. We live in two parallel digital realities. In one reality, AI is a creative engine. We recently released Brainrot Tools, an app that turns boring text into engaging social media style content. It exploded. Within 1 month, it generated over 1 million impressions and over 300,000 active users. We understand AI because we're the people that help millions of people to create it. In the second, more darker reality, we have the risk. These same tools are being weaponized against the most vulnerable. In 2023 alone, Maine seniors lost over $7.1 million to online fraud. And we aren't just talking about spam emails anymore. We're talking about fake news articles. We're talking about deepfake videos that can bypass bank security measures, even voice cloning scams that can access a child's TikTok or Instagram, study and clone their voice, and then call their parents or grandparents begging for bail money. See, the tools used to fool people are getting better each day, but the tools used in order to protect them are stuck in the past. Which is why we present See-Through AI, which acts as a transparency layer for the internet. Competitors these days either focus on a single modality like only text or only audio, or they're focused on a B2B scale, while See-Through AI focuses these tools on the most vulnerable. We offer support for multimodality, and we use small local models which don't have the same environmental impact as some of the larger companies, because we understand that ecology is important to Maine. This is an example done of Jim Carrey at a recent award show in which our algorithm debunked the photo as AI before it was released to the general public. See, the market for this product is desperate. We aren't just selling to schools concerned about ChatGPT written essays. We're targeting the $38 billion content detection market. And our business model for this is dual-pronged. We have our consumer-grade product designed for your grandmother's phone, telling her that that video she saw on Facebook probably isn't real. And then our B2B scale product for Maine's credit unions and educational institutions. And so why Maine? Maine is the front line. We have the oldest population in the country. If we can solve elder fraud here, we can export this solution to the rest of the world. Maine also has the opportunity to become a mini tech hub with constant investments being poured into institutions such as Maine's Institute of Technology, as well as the newly built Root Institute. We believe that this product is necessary. We believe that in the literal sense, that it is inevitable that this product will be a key player in the market. It is just a matter of how, where, and who. As for how, we believe that we've already got that covered. As for who and where, we believe it should be us right here in the state of Maine. Thank you.
Excellent pitch and a huge problem. So thank you so much for tackling this. All right, Chris, kick us off.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, definitely a need for this, so that makes a lot of sense. I guess my question would be, with what does the competitors look like out there? Are there a lot of competitors? And then I guess as a twofold, like how will you separate yourself from the rest of the competition?
Thanks for that question. As for the competitors in the space, they largely focus on a single modality. For example, GPT-0 focuses on only text. That's the largest text competitor, as well as BioID focuses only on deepfake measures. And both of these are focused on a B2B scale, while See-Through AI focuses on consumer-grade products. We're also uniquely positioned as the technology for content detection on mobile devices is very contemporary.
Good answer. Chris.
Hi, yeah, so I'm curious as to what you see as your biggest obstacle to gaining, adaptability and market acceptance, and so how do you have a plan to get over that?
Thanks for the question. I envision that our biggest obstacle to distribution would be to get the product into the hands of the people that need it the most. Our current distribution channels are focused on social media platforms, which don't necessarily target the demographic that we're seeking. We're planning on extending those network effects to local partners such as Piper Shore's assisted living communities so that we can target the people that are the most vulnerable.
John.
Well, with 1 million impressions and 300,000 users, have you been able to define what your cost structure is going to be to a user such as Piper Shore's?
So for our consumer grade product, which is already available on the App Store, we have a subscription-based model, which is at $5 a month. For B2B scale, we have for face classification or for images, we have about 5 cents per classification. And then for text only, we have about 1 cent per document.
And for folks at home watching, is there a website that you can send people to if they want to learn more about this?
We have our website at Brainrot Tools, as well as all our social media on all the social media platforms, including Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook as well. Brainrot Tools or See-Through AI.
Excellent. All right, well, congratulations on everything that you've done so far, and we need more people like you doing this, so thank you so much. All right, we're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back, and we're going to hear from our judges, so don't go away.
To stand out, you need credibility. Media coverage, such as newspapers, TV stories, podcast interviews, builds trust. When others talk about you, those media stories signal credibility to both people and to AI. AI looks for third-party validation, so don't underestimate the power of a great story or a news interview. It's not just exposure, it's trust at scale. I'm Nancy Marshall, the PR maven, and I've been in public relations since before the internet. Today, PR is more important than ever to help you get found, get known, and to grow your business.
Albin, Randall, and Bennett, committed to providing accounting solutions to Greenlight Maine startups, working with businesses and organizations that operate locally and nationally. ARBCPA.com.
Watch your savings grow at Pape Subaru's Let Love Bloom event. April showers are no match for the rugged new 2026 Crosstrek. Leasing for only $205 a month. Enjoy the drive this spring in a sleek new 2026 Impreza Sport. Leasing for $209 a month. Or fall in love with the versatile new 2026 Forester. Leasing for only $259 a month. This April, Pape's celebrating local educators with the Pape Subaru VIP $1,000 educator rebate. Stop in and see why you always do better at Pape Subaru.
Join us for the 3rd annual Maine & Co. Greenlight Maine Golf Tournament at the Samoset Resort on Monday, June 29th. To register your team or for more information, visit greenlightmaine.com.
Whether you're a small business or a big business, whether you're cutting edge or looking at a traditional industry in a whole new way, whether you're on the coast, in the city, a small town, wherever. If you're an organization here in Maine, if you want to innovate, and if you want to grow, we want to support you. We're the Maine Technology Institute.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. It's time for our judges' deliberation, and you guys are going to talk this through. You get to spend some time off camera learning a lot more about these two wonderful companies. So let's kick it off with BoardWise, only because Matt and Kara pitched first. What'd you think?
I thought they did a great job. I think that there's definitely a need for that. I mean, they mentioned that 25% of the workforce now it would benefit from that product. So I think that they're definitely picking something that is needed out there. I guess my concern would be the one-time fee and just kind of repeat business and how you kind of scale from there.
Awesome. And they're both nurses, and I know this all started because Matt was in this situation and he needed assistance, and he couldn't find anything. So really, solving a problem, right, Chris?
Yeah, no, I agree. And as a professional that holds a license, I can appreciate how devastating, a situation like that could be, and how you might be, tempted to, kind of stick your head in the sand or not know what to do. And so I think there is a need for that. But I guess like Chris, I'm a little concerned about how you negotiate the price point with customer demand and your ability to follow them along the process.
Yeah, so $499, $500, and that's for a lifetime. So anytime you need their services, you just go back to the website and they'll help you.
And the con to that, of course, is you've eliminated repeat business from that person. On the other hand, there are a lot of people holding professional licenses, including myself as an engineer. So I can understand the emotional impact it would have if you had a complaint filed against your license. We take for granted certain strengths in ourselves of organization, where if you're really detailed on the way you file that response, it may make all the difference. So having a separate set of eyes and a separate mind looking at that, I can see the value in that.
No doubt. Okay, switching gears now to Brainrot Tools winner. I mean, he's got 8 million followers. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, I thought that the business was really well thought out. I love that it offers, things for the consumers, things for the business side. I think what he'll always be faced with is just the continuously changing environment of AI in that field in general.
Right, you have to keep up, right? Because it's ever changing daily.
Yeah, daily, right? And I think that is a big challenge, I think, for any company in the space. But I thought he did a great job, and I think he has a really good idea, because I know just personally I've had relatives that have been impacted by fraud, and so I think there is a desperate need for that kind of, and very accessible at whatever it was, $4.99 a month or something. Seemed very accessible for the general population.
I have a lot of respect for the value of that innovation, because someone took a still photograph of me and converted it into a video of me eating a piece of cake, but you could not tell. I mean, for the untrained eye, you can't tell. I would have been fooled. So just thinking about that one tiny example, now you convert it to, someone's niece or nephew calling or talking on a video call to a 90-year-old person saying, "Hey, I'm in jail. Right. I got to get bail." You can see how necessary this type of thing is, but I do have the concern also of keeping pace with the record investment in the evolution of AI.
Yes, I mean, very chilling to hear those stories, to see the pictures that get altered all the time, so you really never know what you're looking at if it's real. So if either one were to return and come to the finals, what would you like to see from them?
I guess I would like to see really how they're going to scale the business from where they're at. I think their concepts are great, but I would love to see, like, what does the next 12 to 18 months look like?
I would be where Chris is in terms of the scalability issue of just like how do they expand their team and their resources enough to scale the business properly, because I think especially maybe with Brainrot, you've got so much demand for increasing technology. You've got to have a team that's constantly growing. I don't think you can do that on a small basis. So, just how do you manage those resources and your demand?
Wow, we're all on the same pages. I'm going to sound redundant here.
Great minds think alike.
Right. The cost of scaling, especially for Brainrot, is going to be staggering to keep pace with the innovations being put into AI. On the other hand, he's got a heck of a business proposition there. Similarly, I think there's going to be some scaling cost, but perhaps a market limitation for the competitor.
Right. I think BoardWise would need to get get some more attachment to the regional expertises that might be helpful to just, I think, in terms of the sales strategy.
All right, excellent feedback. We have to take a short break, but don't go away. We're going to have our winner next. We'll be right back.
You don't have to do college the usual way. At Thomas College, we do college differently. We do academics differently. We do success differently. We do community differently. We do innovation differently. We do careers differently. Where belonging isn't promised, it's lived. We don't just prepare you for a job, we empower your future. It's time to do college differently.
Junior Achievement of Maine accelerates economic mobility for Maine students by equipping them with the skill sets and mindsets to envision choice-filled futures. Thanks to a network of over 800 volunteers across the state, students are being introduced to career pathways they may not know exist, building workforce development skills and accessing professional development networks, all before they graduate. Join JA Maine in ensuring a stronger future for Maine and its students.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. We just heard two amazing companies, BoardWise and Brainrot Tools, and it's time to find out who gets the green light. Judges, I'm going to count you down. 3, 2, 1. And that means Brainrot Tools is the round winner. Congratulations to winner. You are moving on in the competition. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Please join us next week when we have two more amazing companies. If you or someone you know are interested in starting a business, you can check out our website at greenlightmaine.com. We have a lot of resources and all of our episodes are right there. We'll see you next week. Have a safe and successful week. Congratulations. Come on over.
Greenlight Maine would like to thank our premier partner, Bangor Savings Bank, our corporate partners, and our sponsors. Thank you.